Cool. I mean, like we can probably talk about other things aside basically about how to like figure out how can we like attract more people, right? Like basically, there's an issue of discovery here, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of projects out there in the ecosystem that needs the contributors, right? There's actually a lot of people who actually want to contribute, you know, and I don't think we have like a really good discovery mechanism to kind of match and meet, right? So perhaps we could even like chat about how we can do that, you know, or like MetaCartel's got this like meme voice out there, right? We can probably utilize that to some extent, right? Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I'm just gonna work off this hackmd that I posted in the Zoom forum. I mean, Zoom here. Um, shit here after she gets killed on Twitter.
Hey, Nadu.
Cool.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Hey, how do you say your name? Mekul.
Me, Kyle. Me and Kyle.
Nikal, gotcha. I think that's fair. You want to show off microdApp as well?
Yeah, so currently the website's being built. I have a full-time job working at Ribbon Blockchain. So this is kind of a side project that I'm working on. But yeah, basically it's bringing...
No, not yet, mate. Not yet.
I think something's happening outside. Hold on one second.
Cool.
Like how we just jumped.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's my turn. Here I go.
It's a straight shooter. I like that. Also, Spencer, thank you for taking care of that. The Crypto Crunch or Crunchbase team.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
now it's kind of like on Everest. I know. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Pedro, would you like to give I think we have time definitely to do just like a 5 to 8 minute kind of however you want to do it, right? You can do.
I'll self-organize, no worries.
Yeah, cool. You can ramble, you can screen share, you can do a presentation. I don't really care, right?
Here I go, guys. Boom. So this is my project. So I work on Wallet Connect, and one of the things I want to build is a Wallet Connect Pay, or whatever the name, it's just temporary. And basically what I have now is like this demo of like a point of sale system for someone that wants to like sell, I don't know, just think of any shop, but it's mostly focused on kind of coffee shops, restaurants and stuff. And you can have like this interface where you can have either the waiter or just the customer self-serving to like make an order. And then you make a payment, and you can support different chains and everything. And I'm also looking to like integrate state channels and everything. So it's basically kind of just building an experience around Wallet Connect. So once you go here, for example, let's go with DAI, and I open a wallet. Let's go with Rainbow. So I can scan it now. And immediately after scanning, I have like a transaction request. And the transaction request will show me the coffee and the amount paid. And basically, I can now pay for the coffee. And I have my order done. This is all built with Treebox. So Treebox is a SDK that allows you to store data on IPFS. And basically, I kind of just created this experience for a business to build a payment system on Treebox. The way it works, you connect, and you can use, for example, MetaMask. And you sign the messages. Oh, this is actually going to error. But basically, you have an inventory, and you have like the ability to kind of control all the orders and everything. And it kind of just like provides a much better experience for like a business to accept crypto. However, my current thought around this project is that no matter how much we built around this kind of idea of having a business managing their orders with crypto, what they really want mostly is the payment system. So at the end, how I had the order being sent to like a display where you switch to whatever currency you want to pay, and then the wallet connect. I think what would be better is what I've done with EF for paying for the EF tickets. So for example, here we have a link that has currency, ETH, amount, and then it has a destination address. And we could add something like order number, and we add the order number 0x, blah, 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 blah. And then this will tie the order number to whatever they have, and we can introduce a callback. And then the callback would allow us to build like the same experience that I built with like the Wallet Connect Pay for a coffee shop, but also for other e-commerce. And here I basically am doing all the same, and I can use either MetaMask or Wallet Connect, and I can make a payment, and it starts like just doing all the process, and it will handle it and say success, and it even has a transaction hash. And I had before, but we had to remove it because of an issue with the software that EF was using for ticketing, which was a callback that would bring you back. So it's kind of like this kind of PayPal checkout system that I think it would be a better way of tackling crypto than the point of sale. The point of sale and the payment system should be separate, in my opinion, and make it more modular, that it would kind of like reduce the amount of work we do into allowing to do this for like e-commerce. So if any of you would be interested to kind of pursue this, I would like to, for example, I don't know, let's say in October, start working on this like with more time, dedicate more time into this, and maybe like seek funding in the future.
What's a first pilot that you're running or looking to tackle? You know.
So I think the easiest part would be just online shops that would like to accept crypto. If we have, for example, compatibility with like Shopify, we can build like plugins for Shopify, and people can like sell swag and accept crypto very easily. The idea is that we create this environment like you're seeing here, that's just a separate page for payments, just like how PayPal does it, and you basically provide a callback. And then we can build an SDK that would allow other businesses, even if they don't have the plugins, to adopt this. So we would have like this kind of core SDK, which would provide like a crypto checkout, and we can then develop other plugins for specific platforms like Shopify, Squarespace, and etc.
Cool. Like, do you need like developers to help you with that, or designers?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
like,
ideally, this would be something that some of you would be interested to join, and we could like work and speed up the
also on the
development.
side, like I found that it's really hard to motivate people to join projects unless you have a milestone that's worth working towards. You know, people don't want to commit, but they're okay like working on like initial kind of thing to conquer, right? It's like, let's do X, Y, and Z, or like let's do this, you know, build something for an event, right? Where there's like a clear objective, scoped out milestone, and it's like, you know, once you engage in that, people, you know, either like and get working on the project or they don't, and then that's like a way to engage people to a deep extent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like a Shopify plugin or a Squarespace plugin or both would be good, like goals, and then we can just like kind of develop.
Why don't you create your own Shopify like, you know, shop for something crypto related?
No, but
right?
that's the thing. So when you look at Wallet Connect Pay, that was where I started. I created this whole thing, and as a business, you can manage your orders, you can customize this shop, you can manage the inventory, the orders, and everything. But at the end of the day, that was kind of like okay, because there's already points of sale system that may be way better than this. And here, the greatest part was having
I mean like if you're
to a
like,
payment.
Sorry, no, just to clarify, like I mean like when I mean like, so you want to build a plugin for to allow, you know, this kind of on e-commerce like point of sale system for Spotify shops, right? You should create a Spotify shop yourself and sell something that the crypto community would want, right?
Oh yeah, as a you mean
like a pilot.
As a pilot.
Like that would be interesting, right? Because it's like, hey, let's sell something completely useless. Oh, hey, look, Drew's willing to print out, you know, chili hats, right?
Yeah.
Hats with chilies on them.
Yeah.
He can be the vendor, you know, he can create that shop. I don't know, like.
No, I agree. I agree. Like in terms of like a pilot, yeah, but
Yep.
like in terms of like the technical MVP,
Yeah.
would be the Shopify plugin itself, and then we would just like spin up a Shopify shop and have some like super cool T-shirts or like some like MetaCartel stuff, for example.
You might want to, I don't know, I might link you up with Steve from Bounty. He's essentially building on-chain e-commerce.
Who's that?
Steve from Bounty. He's in the DApps chat as well. Let me.
All right, that's
What
it. I should
Groundhog, like what is Groundhog doing? They were doing like a WooCommerce plugin.
There's also Bidali. Bidali is also doing something like that.
And with Groundhog, right, Pedro?
Groundhog is doing subscriptions, so it's kind of like it's not really,
Okay.
but it's a subscription.
Well, I remember they had a WooCommerce plugin.
Well, they have a plugin for subscriptions, so it's technically like if you want to have like a subscription for like your blog, or if you want to like have like this streaming service like Netflix has, and you can have like these subscriptions on chain that will handle its like monthly payments and stuff.
Cool. Mark, would you like to go up next?
All right. Let me share.
Also, Ben, how's the MetaCartel DApp code? Did you fix that? Or no? I mean, James is on his birthday. You're muted. Ben, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, James had to fix that shit on his birthday, man, while he was day drinking. Poor dude. I sent him a little, but I sent him a little birthday card as a thank you. Mid-base.
Nice. That's cute.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's all up now.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for shepherding everyone. Good job. It's just like.
Laughing up the screen now. Cool. I want to say that.
Yeah, we can see it.
You can hear me too, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is like Alice before like the massive polish we're doing next week. And what it is, it's like native mini dApps inside of a wallet. So you've got like a list of your tokens. We haven't put price in there yet, but that's coming next week. And you can send crypto, for example, to somebody. So I can resolve an ENS name right here. I'll send some to. That's your ENS name, right, Pedro?
Oh, you have to wallet connect. Let me paste it.
No. That's mine. Send it mine because he has like a fake wallet connect one. Like.
No. Paste that one. Future.
I never listened to Peter.
My God. Yeah, and I can send off like a ENS transaction by sending tokens, like regular wallet stuff, and I can see all of my transactions. But these little apps inside of here aren't like DApp browsers. They're actual like native applications. So when you would go into an application like Foam, you're like actually in a full screen mobile application. So you're experiencing it's a little buggy, but you're experiencing a full native mobile app. And we built out a test mini dApp in Alice that just like shows you all of the stuff that you have access to. So you can get the address of the wallet, you can transfer ETH, you can send a transaction. You can send a transaction with a dapplet, which is like a little window. So this purple screen could be anything. It could be an image. It could be like an image of a crypto kitty. It could be whatever you want it to be. It's like it's a mini React Native component. You can sign transactions. So this is like what most wallets want you to do. And a message, hello world. If I sign it, you give back the signed message. You can send a token. You can send a message to a smart contract. And if you send a message to a smart contract, you can see the actual like function name you're sending, how much value, and the actual parameters that you're sending. So this is like a food smart contract where I'm sending an order for a hot dog. Yeah, and I can get the balance and then read from contracts. You also get access to like a map SDK. And everything's like super smooth and really responsive. And the camera, like front and back. And so that's like pretty much everything you've got access to as a developer to build like native mini Web3 dApps. We're working with like Sigma Prime was doing the ETH 2.0 client on a web app, and of like being able to message an Ethereum address. The motive is to kind of like be able to send a message to the DAO hacker, maybe like send a message to a smart contract, or just communicate with an address who you don't know who the person is, but you want some sort of way of getting through to them and then sending them a message. And then hopefully on the other end, they're like checking their messages. But how do you get through to these people? So what I also built is like a push notification service that routes to these mini dApps. So if you were to get, 1 second.
So the thing is, when I'm doing demo day, right, the tickets are NFTs. I can't actually email anyone. Like, I cannot actually communicate with everyone. But I could, if I had like a way of communicating, that'd be like neat, right?
Ooh, like this maybe? Hold on, bam. So you see the push notification. So if you get the push notification, it actually says like what app in the title it's referring to. And then in this case, it's like a hello from a user. So if you click through on that, it actually goes to the app and then goes to Alice and then routes to the actual messaging app. And then if I was like got a message notification for Foam for example, like someone was challenging my point of interest, and I could possibly lose money by doing this, right? So that's like a huge use case for Foam, is to be able to send messages to people based on their point of interest. So if I click through on that, then it goes again to Alice, routes to the Foam map, and then if you send data through, it actually takes you to the challenge point of interest. So you can see exactly what point of interest is being challenged of yours. And yeah, that's kind of like where we're at the moment. But then again, it's like, it's full native experience. You're in somebody else's application. They have access to all of these functions within their.
Do you know where we can find an SDK?
GitHub.com/AliceDApp/AliceX.
Thank you. I will. Yeah. Post it.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Let's build many dApps. It's all there. It's all open source. We've just been in like stealth mode for the last 2 months, and we're now starting to do like push out a bunch of advertisement. It's like good timing before ETH Berlin. Like we've got, if you notice, like the dApps that are in there, these are actual apps that are gonna go live with Alice, and we're gonna make announcements with these companies. And we also have an exciting integration. If you look at the little logo on the top right there, a little Wallet Connect symbol.
No.
We put Wallet Connect in there. We're gonna advertise that pretty soon. And then our dApp browser, I think, is sexy as fuck. So if you look at the our dApp browser, we're trying to give someone as much we're trying to give dApps as much screen as possible.
Right.
So if you go into like something like Uniswap, for example,
Right.
and you like scroll up, you can see like you got like a whole screen that's a dApp. So
yep.
now you can just like make a little trade of a token.
We gotta wrap up soon, Mark.
All right. Anyway, yeah. Listen to some of that, and then you can see like I click swap, and then the regular like transaction screen comes up. So it's like full feature now, and then ready to go. Oh yeah, and we got like you can pin your DApp, so like you can go off and like look at a bunch of other dApps and then like do some other shit, and then go right back into your DApp that you were going at before.
Is Apple going to be okay with a DApp store in there, like an actual native DApp store in an app?
That's a good
They
point.
weren't okay with it, but they we worked on magic. Yeah, they like basically where you can't advertise the apps like in a store like fashion. So the only way that people will hear about these apps through like some sort of referral link or something like that. And because like the code has to be pushed into our repo, and we have to like index everyone's code and then send that to Apple so that they can see exactly what's being pushed in. It's such a tedious process, but like if we want a mobile experience like this, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Dickcraft.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Yannick. I'm not the only one from the Ditcraft team here today, so say hello to Marvin as well. Yeah, what we essentially are doing is we are building a decentralized version of Git. And by that, we do not mean a decentralized repository, but we are talking about decentralized merges into the master branch of open source repositories. And yeah, this is handled through votes, and this essentially eliminates the repository owner. And yeah, our voting scheme is a novel protocol. It's using something called knowledge extractable voting, which means that experts in a specific programming language actually have more influence on the outcome of the vote. And yeah, I'm not going to go into the details with that, but yeah, we have a Medium post regarding this protocol. Anyway, our Ditcraft ecosystem consists of 3 parts. We have smart contracts deployed on the XDAI chain. We have a command line interface called the dit CLI, which is used to essentially initiate a repository, do the proposals on the code changes which you want to merge into the master, and you can vote on other proposals using the dit CLI. And we have something called the dit explorer, which you can use to explore your initialized repositories, open or live proposals, and you can check your tokens which you have earned. And yeah, essentially we are using tokens as an incentive. You can, for example, earn tokens for proposing changes in the Go language.
Do you want to share your screen though? Just share.
Yeah, let's see.
By the way, is this Jeff? Is this live in some sense? Like, is it piloted in any way?
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah. This, what you're currently seeing, is the dit explorer. As already said, we have a section with repositories and proposals.
So dit is basically it's governance on repos.
Can you repeat that?
A dit is a way to govern repos. That's right.
Yes, to mainly govern changes into the master branch. Like if you develop a feature on a side branch and you want the changes to be merged into the master branch, you normally do this with a pull request. But then the repo owner has the overhand, and he can decide if the pull request gets merged into the master branch or not. And we are eliminating the repo owner with a decentralized protocol to vote on these changes.
What has anyone kind of like focused on building? You know, have you done your first pilot over a real repository out there?
We are currently working in a demo mode just to test this out for yourself, and yeah, it works. It's a fully working MVP, and we are just trying to merge out the last bugs and problems. And this is also why we are here today, because we are looking for feedback and bug hunters and whoever wants.
What's the ideal first repo, community repo that you kind of implemented or piloted with, right? Like I assume you need kind of a big enough of a community to really like gain value out of this. Otherwise, it's just like friction and overhead, right?
Because like for us, like if you're pushing a mini dApp to Alice, you have to merge the mini dApp into the master branch. And essentially what people could do is like, if they like this mini dApp, they can vote on the proposal to merge it into the master branch or not. And in that way, you're like having this governance of like what application essentially gets into the Alice like app store.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
For example.
But I guess like, do you have an initial like repo or community set that you want to implement this with? If not, right, like what is the ideal one? Is there any you're eyeing or thinking about in the community that you want to approach?
Well, we're looking to the first repositories which we have included is GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab, but they are still very centralized, and we are looking to eliminate this factor as well, if that's what you mean.
No, like actual repositories with code and the community.
You mean if we have teams actively working with this?
Yeah, like, you know, I mentioned, do you have a first pilot, right? That you want to pilot this with?
No, not yet.
What is your ideal community that you want to deal with? Like, if you had to pick any team or code, you know, or GitHub community within crypto, right? Who do you want them to use? Like, who do you want to use Gitcraft with?
That's a hard question, but I guess it can be used by anyone. We're looking to,
It would be good for DAOs in general and decentralized product management, I guess. Yes. As far as someone who would benefit from the decentralized governance of the master branch.
Yeah. Yep. Or open source software in general.
Yeah. Anything where I think what's important is that, or it's going to be most valuable where the actual installation or running of the code is also decentralized. If that is centralized in some way, then the repo itself doesn't matter quite as much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is still outlook for the future. We're just finished with our MVP, and just looking for partners for feedback in this direction exactly.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's something that we're going to need at some point in time in the near future or whatever, for sure.
I'll need this like very soon if I really want to truly have a decentralized app store, decentralized run app store. So that's huge.
Yeah, cool.
If you want to test it on us, we're definitely all for it.
I'm pretty opinionated. Like, everyone should be building for pilot. You know, if you don't have someone you're initially building for, you're building in the dark, right? That's why I was trying to say, like, who are you initially building for, right? And like I think like we can definitely help find who can be that initial pilot community. Like yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think that we should not be building without like an end customer in mind, right? Like it definitely can be very useful, but who exactly will be the first community that's going to be using this, right? Who will be the second? Who are going to be the first 5 or 10, right? Like software is only useful when someone's using it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first community is for us is probably the Ethereum DAO open source community, which is probably the most interested in this topic, and then general open source Linux.
Yeah, you should propose it to. I mean, well, Moloch's not upgradable. I mean, that would have been nice, right? If Moloch was upgradable.
Yeah.
Ethereum.org is dealing with a lot of decentralized.
It makes a lot. So Mark with Alice, the super app, he eventually wants to actually implement a DAO governance structure, right? And that would be almost a perfect use case, where it's like, so essentially me and Mark have been talking about like how can we decentralize a super app, right, on the app store, and basically it could actually be pretty like it could be that it basically overcomes a potential barrier of like, okay, there's always an admin of a repo, right? But if you actually, decentralize that to some extent and implement DAO governance, yeah, that could actually be somewhat, close that extra like, close that, the weakness, point of failure, right? Yeah.
What's the key? What's the biggest like new thing that DidCraft is? Is it, because I kind of see two parts of it. Is it like the actual construct of like updating the repo after a decentralized decision has been made, or is it the governance structure of making the decision? Is it the knowledge extracted voting? Because the reason I'm asking that question is I do see some if you kind of commit to one governance structure, there is some risk there. There's tons of experiments on governance and how to make decentralized decisions, and I don't think we're close to figuring it out. But if there's maybe some modularity there and people can plug in different governance systems, maybe that's another option. But to Peter's point, I'm not saying start there. I'm just raising a potential longer term consideration.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, we built all the smart contract sites very modular, so you can plug in any voting system that you want or any other stuff. So that's pretty, open for that. And yeah, I think that's a good point, of course. Yeah.
Mikhail, would you like to go next? Oh, sorry.
Just one more question.
Sure.
So if I basically I push a commit to dit, and as soon as that timeline runs out, then the code is automatically merged.
As of right now, not. No. The only thing that you gain from the vote is you are allowed to merge and push into the master branch. Before that, you're not allowed to do that. So, yeah, there's still someone needs to do that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it grants you the permission.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Will.
Who's next?
Yeah, Mikhail, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Let me just share this.
I forgot what I actually did tell you guys. Did I tell you about Ruben? Did I tell you about the USSD stuff or? This one? Yeah. Okay. So basically, what MicroDApp is a system or a wallet for the masses using USSD technology. So I work for a company called Ruben Blockchain, and we work with the South African Healthcare Department we basically want to push our technology into the fourth industrial revolution and basically crowdfund incentives. So let me actually go to the Ruben website. Crap. Just hold on 1 second. I didn't plan for this call, as you can tell. But yeah, basically what it is, it allows you to crowdfund incentives from all over the world. For example, an HIV testing. We then take that funds, $10, $20, 30, whatever it may be, and we distribute it to all of the people who want to do HIV tests, for example. So that way you can get paid for doing an HIV test, which is huge in Africa. It's something that hasn't been done before. We've subsidized HIV tests, malaria, all of these things, but it hasn't worked because of the stigma attached to it. Especially in rural African communities, they do like really messed up things in a way where, for example, they have some traditions where if you actually rape a woman, it's like very common. You can get rid of the HIV, and that's how it spreads really rapidly, especially in South Africa. So one of the things that we actually did work on is figuring out ways to solve this. So incentives was a great way to handle this. Problem is that most of these people are unbanked. They've never actually used a bank. They don't know anyone who has ever been to a bank. They don't understand how the entire system works. 1, 2, they're unemployed, and they can't even afford the fee, which is like $5 just to start a savings account. They just can't afford it. So that's where crypto comes in as a viable alternative. But there's other issues, that being these people mostly don't have smartphones. They can't get access to internet. And so in South Africa, my home country, 1 gigabyte of internet access is around $10 or so. There's a website. So yeah, 1 gigabyte of data is about $10, which makes it completely unsustainable. The second thing is that our population is tiny, about 55 million people, but our land mass is huge. So you have places where you can get 4G, tiny, like in the metropolitan cities, but you can't get any sort of internet access. You can get 2G or 3G far off. So the system that we had in place is 3 different components. So we have the actual, the app itself. The app is a web app that can be used on mobile or otherwise. So it's given to these people called community health workers, and community health workers largely, they are the ones that distribute these incentives through cryptocurrency. So you have 3 types of users. You have users without smartphones and without internet access. They used USSD-based systems. The trade-off being that private keys are largely centralized and stored. It's a trade-off that sadly has to happen. But we're using contract wallets for it. But yeah. Then we have the other group of people that have smartphones but have limited internet access. So we're using things like WhatsApp or Viber or Facebook Messenger for that target group of people. And then you have people that largely have access to all of these things, and they are using normal wallets like the Trust wallet, for example. So yeah, so the way we're planning, MicroDApp is just a segment off of that. It's my own personal company. So while Ruben is creating this wallet using USSD, I'm creating a separate service that's targeted towards decentralized finance. So instead of just getting incentives every month, you can now invest those incentives, those $20 a month, $30 a month, in decentralized finance. That's about $600 or $700 a year, which is that it's not really much for people in Europe, but if you can invest that in something like compound finance and on 16% interest per annum, that's huge. Because our currency in South Africa is very unstable. So over the course of 10 years, the currency deflated 300%. If you look at cases like in Zimbabwe, for example, Zimbabwe, my friend, the CEO of Ruben Blockchain, Rubeletto Newman, he's Zimbabwean. Basically, when you're staying there for 1 week, the currency deflated within that 1 week by 100%. He had to pay 50 million Zimbabwean dollars for some bread or something, and then when he left that week, he had to pay $100 million. So it literally deflated that fast. So now it's in the billions and billions of dollars. Something like this is crucial. So yeah, basically that's pretty much it. That's the decentralized finance section. Let me just. The website is still being built. That's why I didn't show it, but the website is still being built. Yeah, so we have USSD access, instant messaging. I told you WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber, Facebook Messenger. Decentralized finance, earning 16%, 15% per annum. Decentralized organization. So this is like a thing that I'm trying to push for, and that is creating micro communities in Africa where you have your own set of rules and constructs, and you can vote using USSD and using WhatsApp groups, for example, where you can vote for, you can have your own sort of mini government. The store funds, we call them stockfells in South Africa. It's a very like unique thing. So let me just. Yeah, internet's slow. Yeah. I'm in the Philippines, so things are tough here. The struggle's real. Yeah, stuff like that. They're basically like micro credit unions. So what happens is you get a group of like 12 people. They each basically give a portion of their salary for that 1 week or that 1 month, and one person takes the entire amount for themselves. And then they just consistently keep doing that until it cycles through. So what that does is it gives them a big lump sum using social pressure, as in if you don't pay it back, you lose all your friends in a way, to basically allow them to grow and create businesses, to help feed their families, whatever it may be, to buy like groceries in bulk for 1 month, if they save them a few dollars or whatever it may be. So I'm trying to do that with, hold on 1 second. This bar is on the top, okay. So yeah, just basically doing that on the USSD version or an instant messaging version, just allowing people to create organizations. The next thing is decentralized work. So things like bounties, like the bounties network. For example, right now I'm thinking of doing something with bounties and geocaching. This is just a test in Manila. Basically, you just have a code. If you guys know what geocaching is, it's just basically finding cache. Yeah. It's like an adventure type of game where you have these tiny things called caches, and they start all over the world. And you basically find them, and then you get the prize or the reward at the end of the day, at the end of the hunt. And yeah, so I'm trying to do this with bounties where you can actually store in NFTs, just like QR codes or whatever it may be in these, and people can actually find it. The cool idea with that is people can do specific tasks in Africa, go to certain places, do certain things, and receive rewards that you can use and store in your USSD wallet or your IM wallet or your actual like trust wallet or whatever it may be. So this is basically just that bridge between the developing world and the developed, or the emerging market and the developed. That's pretty much it. Any questions? I've been speaking quite a bit.
So you're trying to create some sort of new way of people like being paid, so that they have this new like economy to be a part of, and it's more fair and just, so that they can get things like HIV tests and so forth. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's Ruben blockchain. Ruben blockchain is the healthcare portion. What I'm basically building is just a wallet. It's a wallet. It's an accessible wallet that works with instant messaging, USSD, and it connects to dApps. So all kinds of dApps. The bounties network or the smart contract, the standard bounties contract, you can connect to that for decentralized work. For decentralized organizations, you can connect to Aragon. For decentralized finance, you can connect to Compound Finance. And yeah, pretty much that's what I'm creating. Just that access, because these people don't even have smartphones. And if they do, they don't have internet access to even access things like Aragon or Compound Finance. So this is that bridge.
Okay. And you want to build all of that native to your wallet. Like you'll be building
Yes.
all of the interfaces. Okay, cool.
Mhm. So any other question? It's something that's fairly overlooked and people don't really know what USSD looks like. How many of you kind of just know what it is? It's pretty much this. Like you dial *143. They used to use this a long time ago. They probably don't use it in Europe anymore or in Americas. You get a menu, you select the menu, and then you'll receive confirmation. For example, you can buy data with your load or airtime or mobile credits. You click a menu for like 100 megabytes or 1 gigabyte. You pay your amount, and then you receive a thank you message, and your amount gets credited for that 1 gigabyte of data. So we're doing that, but for crypto. And yeah, we're basically
How much people actually have smartphones to do this capability in that market
so
that
this
need?
this doesn't require any smartphone. This requires, remember those like olden day burner phones, those $10, $20 phones? This works with them. You don't need internet access. You don't need a smartphone. You basically just need a phone that has connection to a telecom tower. Not internet connection, just a 2G connection, a 3G connection, just any connection to a telecom network, and it works perfectly. So I'm not sure if you know M-Pesa. Yeah, M-Pesa
Yeah, I'm
uses
familiar
this
with
system.
what you're trying to do. But so I might have been lost with this. So you're trying to send a transaction through a blockchain via this service,
Yes, pretty
or
much.
is this okay? And how does it hit the blockchain? It goes through like the telecom network and gets broadcasted
I'll show you that
through.
now. So there's an API gateway. There's think of USSD as a middleman. Think of it as like a server. It links from my server, my API. It launches a function and it gives it back to people through these menus. So Africa's Talking is a major company that's doing these middleman services. So let me try and show you. Yeah, but it works very similar to M-Pesa in a way. It just with crypto, M-Pesa with crypto.
I was talking with another guy from Africa, and he wanted to do this same kind of thing, is be able to like send blockchain transactions with just like having a SIM card. So yeah, what you do?
Yeah, so this doesn't require internet access. It doesn't require a smartphone, just a $20 phone or whatever it may be. This is basically how it works. You can check your balance, you can send money, you can buy airtime, or you guys call it mobile credits or whatever it may be. You can select an account and the amount. All of it just works. This is a middleman.
You should remove all like smartphones that look like that from your marketing, or like when you're showing people, and just put like old Nokias.
Yeah, this is from this is another company, Africa's Talking. They're sort of like, again, like the middleman. Yeah. I get you. But the only problem is that if you have to work with telecom providers, and the issue with that is there's monopolies all over. M-Pesa is owned by Vodacom. So Vodacom doesn't want any competitors in this space. So you have to work with companies like Safaricom, MTN, Airtel, Telcom, all of these people. So yeah, so that's why I'm largely looking for developers that are interested in this. This is just a side project. It's very interesting, but getting funding for these projects are tough. So I want to make this completely open source. So even if I can't find a market for it, someone else probably will later down the line. So just getting all of this code out there, this API, and people can link it to Africa's Talking or create their own kind of system. It's just an open source project. It's for fun. It's not really for much of anything else. Ruben is the big company, but this is just a side project. So yeah.
And a question about USSD. The balance they own is their phone credit, right?
Yes, so that's what we're talking about now. So think of it as a central server. The telecom providers have their own central server with their own API that links and sends airtime. It's like a transaction, like blockchain. That's a separate system. So we can connect our own central server, our own API that can go through this USSD gateway. And you can now create a menu, like any one of these menus, custom menus, and you can work through our system. So they can send crypto instead of credits. they can send DAI to each other instead of credits.
Okay, that's awesome. And can the telecoms block you? Like, is it a cartel? They say, hey, you're taking out, I'm guessing they get a percentage of these transactions right now.
Yeah, so they don't get a percentage of the transactions. They get a percentage of every time the gateway is open. So the stuff is pretty expensive. It's a very like niche cartel where they basically can ban you if they want to, but that's not the goal. The goal is that we allow this access to be possible right now where there isn't much competition and the telecoms don't know what the hell is going on, and then move those people up the ladder into smartphones. The point is to get them enough money to get a smartphone, $100 smartphone, $80 smartphone, doesn't matter, just to get them up the value chain or the product chain. So yeah, so each company is different. Like you have to pay a fee. This is 50 Kenyan shillings. I'm not sure how much that is in dollars, but you have to pay a specific cost, one-time cost, just to set up the star one, like this code star 384. That's your specific code that links to your server. So every code is different. For the mobile credits, it could be star 111. For crypto, it could be star 384 hash. Everyone is different. But yeah, they can block us. The only issue is that would they want to? Because they get paid every time a gateway is opened. So it's 20 cents or 0.2 cents in dollars every 20 seconds. So if we can get enough people supporting this and using this, they'll lose money if they shut us out, and a lot of money at that, because USSD isn't being used that much. So yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. The 50,000 Kenyan shillings looks to be like $485. It's expensive just to set up that. Maybe there's a mistake here, but
no, it's a one-time fee though. It's just a one-time fee to secure that code. So after that, you'll pay the 20 cents per gateway opening. But yeah,
but that's
it's worth
for
it
the
though.
developer. That's not for the user to pay, right?
Oh no, it's just for the developer. It's our developer cost.
Okay. No, then it makes sense. Okay. I thought it was a user.
Yeah, definitely. No. Yeah. So the development cost is just to secure that code I said, like star 384 hash. That's your own personal code that you can do whatever you want to. That just links to your gateway. Think of it as like a channel. Like yeah.
And how far along are you? What do you have so far?
So far, we're using a company called Abridged. You probably heard of them. They're in the community. Abridged.io.
One second.
Yeah.
We also got to wrap up real quick. I got to jump on another podcast, and as I close this Zoom call, it closes the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Mekile. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it.
Mikal. Yeah, everyone messes up my name for one reason.
Thanks, and thanks, Peter. Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should be. You can probably find, Mikal on the forums. He introduced himself, I believe. Yeah. And
yeah, this is kind of great for me because I understood what you guys didn't understand about it, because it's something that I always use in South Africa, but it's something that most people never use in Europe. So thanks for that, guys.
I'd be interested in seeing a write-up. It's something like I don't think anyone knows about, but it's quite interesting.
Yeah, actually, I gave you a write-up. I think there's a document.
To Alejandro of Open Money Institute. He'd be really interested in knowing about this. Actually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. Thanks for attending, everyone. We might just run it as a show and tell from now. I mean, that kind of works roughly well. Perhaps, I don't know. Yeah, I love any feedback.
Yeah, it's really good actually. I feel like everyone is building things that are similar and complementative, and it's just I understand what's going on, which is good.
This guy Amritesh Tiwari understands it. I guess he used it. I'm not sure. He's on text though. But yeah.
All right, guys. Sorry for being so time constrained, but I really got to go, and thank you for attending. You know, we might run these once every 2 weeks. Just maybe it's like the DApp stand up, right? And as we get more people, we might even be even quicker. Like show us your progress, or like, you know, and then do a 5-minute little thing, right? I mean, the thing is, we want to keep it short and snappy so we don't get bored, right? Like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely need to do that. Yeah.
No, it's fine. But like, if we have, you know, time passes quite quick if you actually like have, say, 50 minutes and you have 10 x 5-minute, you know, pitches. You know, that's actually
Gotcha.
a high intensive thing. You know, that might be really interesting to even get to. You know, I don't know. Like, the basic thing is everyone's connected. Everyone's like getting a little like high intensive dose of like what's going on, right? And yeah,
Yeah.
like, you know, even like Ditcroft, like, hey, you know, now you're connected to Mark, right? He could be the pilot, right? For example. Yeah, cool. Thanks for attending, everyone. Yeah, just like main reason for doing this. I think there's a huge problem in the space around surfacing like contributors and like projects, as well as like inter-project relationships. You know, normally through physical conferences, it happens organically and sometimes very uncoordinated, in an uncoordinated fashion, right? You know, this is almost like a virtual like meetup, if you will, right? We might even start hosting them in Decentraland in the near future. Like, not like you can actually use Decentraland for your laptop, right? Actually, so it's not that like BS future like, but okay, cool. This will be uploaded very soon as well, so anyone can really share it around. Cool. Catch everyone later.
See you.
Good.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Everyone.